A few people have gotten the impression that I am a realist given that I've made a few videos showing problems with idealism. I am in fact not a realist. I'm not an idealist either. I have in fact made videos in which I am just as hard on dogmatic realists as I have been on idealists. As I said in other videos, neither realism nor idealism is falsifiable. Some people have assumed that in my last video I was asserting that space-time is fundamental and consciousness is not. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think anyone is really justified in saying that either is fundamental. My point was only that if the fact that we presuppose consciousness makes it fundamental, then space-time is at least as fundamental because we presuppose that as well. The fact that we presuppose something does not make it fundamental to reality. One point that I made was that idealists are not justified in saying that consciousness doesn't have to be accounted for. But at no point did I say that the existence of space-time doesn't have to be accounted for. It may be impossible to account for it in a way we understand, but that doesn't mean that it can't have a cause. However, I still think the many worlds interpretation is a better interpretation of quantum mechanics than idealism because it does away with the question of why particles manifest themselves in one location rather than another. If consciousness causes it to be in one place rather than another, that just kicks the question down the road, because it doesn't account for why consciousness causes it to exist in one place rather than another. If the explanation for that is God, then you can still ask why God made it appear in one location rather than another. However, if the many worlds interpretation is true, then the particle exists in all possible locations. You don't have to ask why it is absent in any particular location, because it isn't absent. Idealism never ultimately explains the absence of a particle from a particular location, but if the many worlds interpretation is true, then there simply is no absence to explain. You can still ask why it exists in all locations, or more generally, why many worlds exist instead of none, but the question of the particle's absence from any particular location is effectively dealt with.